subject yet again. Let's talk about sentience. You say the universe has sentience. The universe doesn't have sentience. Things in the universe have sentience. Why do you confuse this audience by saying the universe has sentience?
Can you tell me what the composition of the universe is?
That wasn't the question.
No, because you're talking things, right? Things are basically the atomic universe is stardust, and stardust has sentience in you and me. According to people like Freeman Dyson, even atoms have sentience.
Atoms have no sentience.
You disagree with Freeman Dyson?
Yeah, if that's what he says, which I doubt, I disagree with him. Atoms do not have sentience. Atoms contribute to making brains. Brains have sentience. You need a highly complicated organization. It's a fundamental error to say that because a complicated thing has a quality like sentience, musicality, mathematical ability, and is made of atoms, therefore the atoms have sentience, musical ability, mathematical ability, etc. They do not. Atoms have to be arranged in complicated organizations, complicated structures interacting with each other, and then you will get emergent properties such as sentience, such as poetry, such as mathematical ability, such as spirituality. These things do not inhere in the atoms themselves, or if they do, you've got a hard job to prove it.
You have a hard job to prove it? Can't you prove it?
I'm sure you're aware of the hard problem of consciousness. I'm sure you're aware that we have no science that tells us why we have any experience, whether it's mental, subjective, or it's an experience of the objective world. How photons coming and hitting our retina create the experience of a three-dimensional reality in space and time. This is the hard problem. It's the most fundamental problem in science. First, what is the stuff of the universe? And second, why is there awareness of the universe? Is awareness of the universe and the universe the same thing? Because if there was a universe outside of your awareness, for all practical purposes, you would never know it. So to say that sentience is an emergent property is assuming that only brains produce consciousness, whereas in fact, even a single fertilized cell, when you were conceived, was fully alive, was fully aware, and did not have a brain. It was present, it was aware, and it differentiated into trillions of cells, more than all the stars in the Milky Way galaxy, to create who you are. So to say that sentience requires an emergence through evolution, instead of saying that actually evolution could be driven by consciousness, these are the questions that some people are asking. And if you propose that sentience is an emergent property, then answer to me why there is no science that can actually give us an explanation to the two most fundamental questions of our existence. What is the nature of the universe? What's it made up of? And why is there sentience? Why is there sentience? You know, we talk about sentience as not just human sentience, which is, of course, you know, an evolutionary process, but sentience came from sentience.
Have you seriously...
Evolution does not explain the origin of life. It only explains the transformation of species.
Yes, you changed the subject again.
You will have 1 minute and and we will finish with this topic of the universe. And
have you seriously just said that a single cell has consciousness?
A single cell has awareness.
What do you mean by that?
That it has the ability to respond to its environment.
Of course it has the ability to respond to its environment. That is not consciousness.
So you said a while ago, atoms get together to create complexity. How do they get together?
By processes which are well understood by biologists.
By a process which is random or intelligent?
Not intelligence.
Okay.
By the processes of embryology put together by the processes of evolution. You cannot seriously sit there and say that the hard problem of consciousness, and it is a very hard problem, is solved by saying that a single cell has consciousness.
A single cell has sentience in the fact that it can respond to its environment and express its biological autonomy.
But,
What are
okay,
you applauding?
just one
What are you
second,
applauding?
please. Un segundo, por favor. I think we're in a little loop because we cannot prove either things.
You know,
I want to nail this. I want to nail this. This gets to the root of the problem.
it does.
Consciousness is something very, very complicated. Of course we don't understand it. That's why it's called the hard problem. It's something that happens when brains reach a certain level of complexity. Now, a single cell, a single neuron, a single amoeba, a single cell, a thermostat even, has sentience in your sense. But that is nothing to do with...
Has the ability to take in information, process information, and respond with autonomy. That is sentience.
That's trivial. That's utterly trivial.
You're confusing perception with awareness. Perception is not fundamental reality. If there was an insect with 100 eyes looking at me, it wouldn't experience the same me as you are. So perception is a species-specific and culture-specific experience in consciousness. It has nothing to do with fundamental reality, the awareness that differentiates into what we call, in us anyway, cognition, perception, imagination, insight, intuition, creativity, choice, freedom, the desire for meaning, purpose. All of that are expressions of awareness as consciousness and influence everything that we experience in life.
You think a single cell has that? And you think
A
a single
single
cell has
cell
that?
has a rudimentary form of awareness.
Do you think
And
an
we
atom
ev-
has that?
Sorry?
Do you think an atom has that?
According to Freeman Dyson, yes.
Freeman Dyson says an atom has awareness.
Yes, sir. Check it out.
Señoras y señores, un aplauso para los dos
Check
que
it out.